Well, that broke. Welcome back to Semper Mechanic. Today's video, we're replacing a radiator on a 2002 Dodge Neon. Right now, we're just removing the battery cables and then taking the battery out, setting it off to the side. Now, a lot of these bolts are rusted, so we're using our WD-40 or PB blaster. We're going to spray all the bolts that we're taking off, because a lot of times, if not, these bolts will break when you take them off. Right now, I'm just spraying everything, things I'm not even taking off. Alright, got a screwdriver. I'm going to loosen this up. We need to get the air filter housing out. I think there's a total of maybe 6 or 7 screws here. There's a sensor right here. Push that red clip up. See how it's down? You push it up and then push down and pull out. I'll take the top of the housing off, set it to the side, move that little plastic piece. Here's the air filter. It'll just pop off. Here's another sensor. Push down and pull out. This is 10 millimeter. We're using our impact. Removing 2 or 3 bolts here. Man, obviously there's a lot of bolts. What's going on here? All right, after you get this last bolt off, go ahead and pick that clamp up, move it to the side. Another 10 millimeter bolt on that side. Now get you a flathead screwdriver. You're going to loosen this clamp up that's on the intake hose. Also unplug this right here. It goes on to the other side, and you'll unplug it from that side as well. After that, use the long screwdriver to push the intake hose off. Now you'll be able to pick up the intake housing, turn it on its side. Go ahead and remove the dipstick as well. Now when you're placing the housing on the side, you'll notice there's a sensor that's underneath. It's a push sensor. You just push in and pull out. Go ahead and get you 10 millimeter. We're using our impact again. Taking off 3 or 4 10 millimeter bolts here. Alright, now we're taking the fan off the radiator. It's held on by 2 10 millimeter bolts. Down here on the radiator fan, we have to unplug it. And then you push in and pull out. Alright, I'm showing you that we're draining the coolant right here through the petcock, but I couldn't show you, couldn't get a good view on it, so I'm showing you on the new one where it was at right there. Alright, taking the upper hose off. Once we got that removed, we can take the radiator fan right out. Use a Phillips head screwdriver or a 10 millimeter. Both of these broke. This is what I was talking about. If you don't soak them, they can break off. There's actually 3 bolts. The third one didn't break. So we're taking that clamp off. Clamp on this side as well. Same thing. Now we did spray these ones, and these ones did not break. It doesn't work every time, but it works a lot of the time. Alright, last thing before we get the radiator out, we got to take that hose off, this cooler hose, and the radiator. So these are cooler hoses right here, transmission cooler hoses. Loosen them up, and then pop them off. Now the transmission fluid's coming out of them, so what I did was put a bolt inside it so it wouldn't leak. Here's another one. You loosen the clamp up. Use a long screwdriver or a pry bar and slide it off. Last thing is the lower radiator hose. Slide that off, and then you can get your old radiator out. Put it on the side and grab your new one. It'll slide in nice and easy. Now we're just going to attach the hoses that we took off. We're going to slide them on and tighten them back down with a screwdriver. 2 coolant hoses and the lower radiator hose. After that, just reverse order. We drop our radiator in there. Put these clamps back on. Now grab all your 10mm bolts you got. Put them back in the holes. Get ready to tighten them down. Using our impact, tighten everything down. Here we're tightening the fan down to the radiator. The radiator fan clip, go ahead and push it in, and then you'll push the red clip down. Go ahead and put this sensor in, and you'll push the red clip on that as well. Here's the other sensor that's on the housing. Now we're taking the housing, we need to slide it back in the intake hose. Get your screwdriver and tighten that down. Now we're putting the upper radiator hose back on. You want to use a big set of pliers because these clamps are very strong. So get you a big set of pliers to do this with. Go ahead and grab your air filter. Put that back into place. Tighten down the 10mm. Put this hose back in on this side. Goes all the way around. Goes underneath the housing actually. And you'll plug it back in on this side. Put the plastic piece back in. Grab the sensor. You'll push it in. It'll be a red clip as well. And you push that in as well. Get the lid. Go ahead and tighten that down. Go ahead and set our battery back in. You put our positive one on first, tightened it down, and then we put our negative cable on, tighten it down. Last thing you got to do is just fill it up with antifreeze, and that's it. If you guys liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you didn't like the video, leave me a comment. Let me know what other videos I should try instead. Semper Fi till next time.